Where do I start? They say life imitates art. I'm trying to paint a picture. Paint a picture that's licking you scripture. I ain't just another nigga. Another nigga with a dream. It seems we finally made him all believe. A dream to be the reason we come to achieve. The life that we would all kill for, even die for. High score, so sick, so sick. Sick and tired of these little kids talking grown shit.
You sound really good on the mic, though.
We're your first podcast?
You're my first podcast. Woo! I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Why are you excited?
Because you guys are brilliant. You're very well spoken.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome, and authentic.
Thank you. Even amongst the cursing?
Yeah, even with all the cursing.
I feel like that's what makes us charming.
I think that it brings a certain authenticity to it.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, it's real.
It's real shit.
Glad you like the show.
Yeah. I'm glad. I just started listening to it.
Awesome.
When was your first episode?
It was the one that Sean was on.
45, the new breed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard some shit on that one.
Yeah, we'll see. The other thing is, though, that I'm listening to your podcast and then a kid runs in. And so
you had to press pause.
I have to keep pressing pause. And so then by the time I get to the end of the podcast, I'm like, I don't remember what they were talking about.
The day's over.
The day's over. Yeah.
That was a long episode, though. That was
That was like 2 hours?
2.5-ish.
2.5?
Two and some change. But do you find it, like, I know it's a long time, and obviously, like, we're going to get into, like, mom duties and shit later, but, like, is it a lot of content to consume? Because it's audio, so you can kind of get away with it because you don't have to sit and do stuff. But like, is it a long time in your ears?
I haven't found that it's a long time in my ears because I find that it's nice because I'm at home. I'm the only adult there most of the day.
Right.
And I'm listening to your podcast while I'm doing stuff.
Right.
Like folding laundry or cleaning the toilet. Yeah. And so it feels like I just have some company.
Oh, we're hanging out with you while you clean the toilet.
I've heard mixed feedback. So we'll see. Well, I still think that we maybe figured out how to do the thing for both people.
What is the feedback that you've heard, Lauren?
Well, the feedback is sometimes it's too bloody long. And it's like, if I want to get to the punchline of a topic you guys are talking about,
right,
I don't even know where that is because it's so far in. I'm so fucking lost on the journey of trying to get to
the wormhole,
the punchline that I abandon it.
Right.
So
right, yeah.
But if we had a piece with all the highlights.
Oh, listen.
Some people just want all the gratification with no work. You know, lots of people like that, Terrence.
Yeah,
come
that's
on.
Some big
they don't
facts.
want to have to wait to get there. They want
facts.
it now.
Yeah, well,
hey, I can't blame.
No,
blame this day and age.
Well,
that's true.
But if you can keep people's attention for that long, I think that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so
yeah, that's saying something.
Absolutely.
Challenge.
Yes.
Y'all don't know this other voice on the microphone. Damn it. Do you? Does anybody know? Does anybody out there in the airwaves know? Well, she mentioned her other half's name earlier, so we're playing trivia now.
Oh, there you go.
For those who may have listened, episode 45, there was a gentleman. I feel like he said you were coming on the show, and he told us you wanted to come on the show.
Yes.
During that episode, she's like, "Yeah, I heard that part."
I heard that part. Yeah, I did a little dance.
And now it's here.
Yes, it's finally here.
God damn it, it's Ruth McMullen on the show.
Yay! I'm happy.
Is that amazing?
Oh man, it's amazing. I've been just waiting for my day.
I believe this.
I've been daydreaming about it. I've been talking in the mirror.
Getting ready?
Just getting ready.
Getting ready for your moment?
I've been getting ready for my moment.
The moment is here.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it. I'm sweating so much.
Somebody get a towel for Tyler. Can you get a towel for Ruth's armpits?
Maybe a couple.
Please. It's hot down here. Well, welcome, Ruth.
Thank you so much.
And welcome, listeners, to the Changing the Narrative podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes, I love it. You can see it right here.
Right there.
On this brand new... Well, Terrence, I'm not going to spoil your housekeeping, but...
I'm glad you said that because I didn't even put any
better
of that
than
stuff.
Earrings.
Ooh. Diamonds?
Just saying.
Diamonds.
Stickers are our girl's best friend.
Stickers on the ears. Our girl's new best friends. 2 for 2 tonight, baby. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. We should introduce what the podcast is, right?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's what we do at this time.
Changing the Narrative podcast. It's like unfiltered discussions with entrepreneurs of color, navigating the life as creatives, and specifically in Halifax area, but we speak much more broadly than our geographical location. I'm working on the...
I'm really liking this whispering you have going on right now.
Yeah, it's really...
Oh, it's harder than you think.
It will see.
Because you get like a crack and...
You gotta practice.
Okay, I'm working on it. Next show, people.
Here's what I do, right? Well, hold on. I gotta... What else are we saying about the show? That's basically the show, right? We're still in works and figuring out what the show is. So we talk a bunch of shit about stuff that happens in life. And we have real conversations because you gotta be real these days because there's too much fake shit out here.
Yes.
We just on here keeping it real.
Yeah.
We talk shit and we keep it real.
Oh.
Insert.
New tagline.
That might have to be it. We talk shit and we keep it real. Is that what I said?
That's beautiful. That is what you said.
We gonna run with that.
Okay.
We're gonna run with that.
Yeah.
The Changing the Narrative podcast.
It's important to have this room.
Yes.
For excitement reasons.
Because we talk shit and we keep it real. Oh. No, I like that. I really do like that. Oh, Ruth.
Yes.
Look at this moment you were just part of.
Oh, I feel so honored.
I'm so glad Ruth is here.
Oh, man, I'm so glad to be here.
Already. The voice thing. So I watch other talk radio persons do the things that they do, and then so I try to find ways to like emulate not them, but the art of speaking on a microphone. And Joe Budden's a great example because he was a rapper and now he's a media person, and so he'll use words and he'll yell and what's the word? There's a word for this. I know the word because I've used it often, but I don't remember right now.
Is it like tone?
No, it's like voice intonation. Is that might not be the word. Inflection. I just use my voice in different ways.
Okay, intonation sounds like
timbre.
It could be the right word. What's that?
Was the word timbre?
Timbre.
Yeah, that's the word that Will used. In reference to my voice.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know what that word means, but I like it.
It made you feel good. Shout out to Will Strickland. I actually was talking to Will today because he sent me a video testimonial for the Full Court 21 mini film that I put together.
Awesome.
Shout out to Will Strickland, Full Court 21. So go to my YouTube and watch that if you haven't. It's on my Instagram page, Terrence J. Taylor on Instagram. See, I don't be talking about the stuff I be making sometimes, so sometimes I just gotta plug my shit.
Just go for it.
Just go plug my shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been practicing how to make my voice do different things.
Oh, I dig it. I like it.
That's really good.
Thank you. I'm gonna keep practicing because you can never get too good at the things. So here's what we're gonna do. I gotta go through the housekeeping so we can tell all the people the little things that's happening, like a little news, quick little tidbit bites, and then we can move on to talk about Ruth. Oh yeah, so Ruth. See, I fucked up my whole order of shit. Ruth's here. Ruth's here to talk about being a mom. The Halifax Social Network.
Yes.
You're here to talk about what it's like working with your partner.
Yes.
And how all the shit goes down. You actually was talking about shit earlier because there was it all over your house.
All over my house.
Literally,
Today?
people.
Yeah.
No,
We're gonna go there.
So
I love it.
So
Unfiltered. We talk shit and talk about shit. What did you say?
And keep it real.
talk shit.
We talk shit and keep it real. Sorry.
Lauren ruined it already.
Listen, I get this weird thing from my mom. You know, like when people can't get like the euphemisms or whatever together, like
You do
oh,
that?
not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but my mom will say shit like not the brightest knife in the drawer or in the shed or anyways.
Combined too.
I'm like, oh yeah. We call them Linda-isms. As you can only imagine coming out of my pint-sized mother, which are hilarious.
Yeah.
But I feel like I get some of that. Not in the same way, but a little bit of it.
A little bit.
Like that.
Linda is.
We talk shit and talk about shit. That wasn't it, Lauren? Oh,
Laurenisms.
okay.
That's a Laurenism.
Uh-oh, it's happened. It's, you know what, things like that happen to me. They've been happening with me with my mom too. My mom is pretty bad with not finishing sentences.
Ooh.
Just trails off?
She just she interrupts herself.
She had a better thought, and now she's on to the next thought.
And then she's on to the next thought. And so I've been trying to make a point to actually finish my sentences, but I've been noticing, especially as I've been getting older, that I'm starting to interrupt myself. I'll just be like, yeah, so the other day but the funny thing is, oh my goodness, look, a squirrel. And that's actually something that she has said. She will interrupt herself to say that there is a squirrel.
Is that mom brain?
It must be. It must be.
We'll get into that.
I'm predisposed to it genetically as well because of my mom.
Yeah, it just piles up, and then you're kind of a lost cause after that. But we love you.
Oh, thanks, guys.
That's all that matters. Okay, so housekeeping, because we're. What's in housekeeping list, Lauren? Do you remember? Oh, yes. Okay. So.
See, that's why we're all messed up, because I just couldn't help myself.
No, Lauren got excited and
that was surprising. No, but it's truly.
It's a good thing. So we got some new gear. We got a little bit more new gear. We got headphones for everybody to have headphones. We got new stickers, CTN, and changing the narrative in full. 2 inches by 2 inches. 2 inches by 1 inch. We have 1,500 of them. So we should give them out and shit.
Yeah, we totally should.
Because people can put them on their laptops and stuff.
Yeah.
They're bumper stickers, so you can actually put them on your car. So they'll last for basically anything. That was the plan.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
But do they they come off or no?
Well, eventually. But once you put a CTN sticker on, why would you want to take it off?
In case you want to put it somewhere else. I don't know.
Well, I give you another sticker.
Okay.
You have 2 stickers.
Great.
Problem solved. See, that's what we do when we just solve problems. It's great. What you doing? She taking more? Yeah, Lauren, take more. That's okay.
I got 2 stickers. I got 2 stickers. I got 2 stickers. Hey. If you don't freaking remember that movie.
What movie is that?
What? Really?
I got 2 pickles. I got 2 pickles. I got 2. Thank you.
Alfalfa?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Well, yes.
It's like it's in the movie.
Low Rascals.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Alfalfa didn't say that?
No.
Who said it?
Buckwheat. Come on. You should remember.
Well, Lauren, what are you trying to say?
You said you did the eyebrows before I did the eyebrows, and we both know you should remember that.
See, that's why we talk about race here on the show, because then we just eliminate the potential racial awkwardness. But it's great.
Yeah.
I like me some buckwheat. So
who doesn't? He's a very cute kid.
He's a very cute kid.
He's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Okay, so back to housekeeping. We also have an event. We have an event Wednesday, December 12th, which will be tomorrow when you folks are listening to this beautiful show. It's at Common Good Solutions, 5557 Kennard Street, Halifax. We will be partnering with the Youth Art Connection to discuss Viola Desmond and the $10 bill and her impact in Halifax, Nova Scotia, specifically the north end of Halifax. There's going to be a lot of cool people there. And we're going to be talking shit. But probably less shit because there'll be youth there. So we got to try to tone our shit talk down.
Yeah.
So you're going to be talking crap.
Yeah, we'll talk smack.
Yeah.
Smack.
Yeah. Talk poo.
Yeah. Emoji.
Yeah.
Put the emoji. Don't even say the word anymore. Just we're going to talk.
Explicit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Explicit.
Yeah.
So
your facial expressions are just beautiful. Oh my goodness. I can tell everything that's going on inside of your head.
Is that a good
from
thing or
your
a bad
face.
thing?
I think it's a good thing. I like it. It makes me less nervous.
Right. You don't have to worry or wonder. Yeah. It's just like
I know what you're thinking because I can see it on your face. You feel very happy right now.
It says all the things.
It says it all.
I like that you're here because you're very kind and you give them compliments already. Just warms my heart.
Oh, thanks.
Just a little bit, but a lot bit too. So thank you, Ruth. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay. What was I? Oh, the event. So come to the event. Tell a friend.
CGS. What time's it start, Terrence?
6 p.m.
Perfect.
to 8 p.m.
Do they need money to get in the door?
They don't need no money to get in the door.
Faux free.
It's faux free, and there's free food.
Hey, even better.
Well, shit, you don't come
even
to the
better.
event that's talking about Black history and the power of this Black powerful woman from this community who's on the $10 bill of Canada. You don't want to come and talk about that with people from the community and eat free food. I don't know what kind of person you are.
Agreed.
Who don't want to do that?
Exactly.
I can't think of one person that wouldn't want to do that.
So the place will be packed. You better get there before it shuts down. Common Good Solutions, 5557 Kennard Street, Halifax. We'll see you there. It's like a cool period exclamation mark, but like in italics and like small. Oh, it's like DC.
I can see it in Archie comic the way that you just described that. Yeah,
we right
good
here.
Old Archie comics.
Right
old Archie before it became Riverdale.
We right. Oh, don't even talk about damn Riverdale. What else is in our housekeeping?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. I don't think anything. Let's move on from housekeeping.
Okay, are we off the housekeeping?
Stickers and events.
Fuck.
And
Okay, I swear there was one more thing.
Are you serious?
No, I swear to you there was one more thing, but I guess it doesn't matter. Does it not matter? Oh, our website. Yeah, that's kind of important, yo. That's kind of an important one. So we have a website, changingthenarrativepodcast.ca. Changingthenarrative.ca? No podcast. I lied to y'all. Don't go to changingthenarrativepodcast.ca because it's not a thing. Go to changingthenarrative.ca because that's a real thing. That's where you should go if you want to learn all things CTN related. Lauren, why are you laughing at me?
Because I'm just like, wow, all right, well, this is done. We're getting this show back on the road. Just giggle fits and like, where are we? What day is it?
Listen, we all have these days though.
Oh, listen, I know. It's Monday.
It's okay.
Right? Monday.
It is Monday.
It's Monday.
It's Monday. So that's all housekeeping. Fuck, we got to get out of this. Okay, so
I can't hear that word anymore. Housekeeping. It makes me.
Oh no!
It just makes me think of too much of my personal life.
Yeah,
so you're taking it right back to the homestead.
You're here, but you're at home right now with all this housekeeping. No, that's great. No, we're okay.
All right, yeah.
No more housekeeping. We're 20 minutes in. We're gonna talk Ruth.
Oh, okay. I cannot remember what I did last weekend. Yeah, I don't know. We were in Mexico.
Oh, that's right.
But it wasn't last weekend. It was.
That's okay.
Wait, where are we?
No, it was last week.
It was last week.
Yeah, it was last week.
It was. I'm so glad that you know my schedule better than I do.
I saw that beautiful photo that Sean posted of you, and he was just like, I like to post lots of pictures of her.
Because my wife is the hottest ever and amazing.
Care.
Yes, as you should.
See you. Goodbye.
Chronicle your lives, of course. God.
Thank you.
No, seriously.
No, it's big facts.
You're so nice.
Thank you. Facts.
No, it's just honesty.
It's big facts. So Mexico's good?
Oh my goodness, Mexico is incredible. I've never been to a resort.
Okay.
And it was this all-inclusive resort. We were taking photos and video of a wedding. The bride and groom were amazing. Like they were so kind and encouraging and fun to be around. Yeah, so it made the whole thing just so much fun.
Dope.
It was awesome.
Nice. Good for you. And you're in New York before that or something too, weren't you?
Yes.
Y'all just doing the traveling thing.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Going places and doing stuff.
It's like we don't have kids.
Yeah. That was gonna like, how you get rid of 3 babies and go on an adventure?
Right?
Good for you.
Thank you very much.
Good for you. We all need to just not care about our responsibilities sometimes and just care about ourselves.
Yeah. Well, oh man, no,
gotta take care of your shit, you know?
Yeah. The break was good. I needed the break. I was losing my mind.
Yeah.
Apparently
imagine.
2 breaks. I had needed 2 breaks.
Well, good. Good for you.
Thank you.
Good. All right, so Ruth McMullen is here.
Yes.
She's here to talk. Lauren, where do you want to start? Because Lauren was having a bunch of off.
Okay, why don't we start? Because I think this could go like a few different places. Because there are a few different things we want to talk to Ruth about. Yeah. First of all, maybe we just touch on the Halifax Social Network and kind of like what that's about and what Ruth's role is in it. Yeah. And then I can see us going in a couple of different ways.
Okay. So let's start there. Yeah, you're member number 5.
Yeah.
It's 5 of you, right?
Yeah, it's 5 of us.
And you're the last. Actually,
I don't say we've had everybody else, haven't we?
Everybody else from the Halifax Social Network has been on the show.
Closing the loop, everybody.
Boom,
Closing the loop.
See how that looks. See how it works. The plan
Jared's
works.
excitable today.
The plan.
I love it.
I like when shit works how it's supposed to work.
Yes.
Like, you have a plan, you do it, it works. You're like, fuck yeah, the plan works. Sorry, kids who will be listening.
Zoe, Jackson, and Owen, that word just means happy. I don't...
Happy. Happy it is. Happy it is.
Thank you very much.
Happy it is.
All right, cool.
Happy it is.
All right, cool.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
Loop. We closed the loop.
Close the loop.
You were happy. Now we're just going to talk about Halifax Social Network.
Halifax Social Network.
We're just going to shut up now.
I'm sorry. All right.
Go.
Okay. when people ask me about what I do for the Halifax Social Network, I feel like a deer caught in the headlights, because I'm just kind of like, the people that I work with on that team are all so absolutely incredible that I wonder sometimes, most of the time, if I'm even necessary. Just because, like, they each have these, like, really great zones that they're in.
Yeah.
And they are incredibly talented and so intelligent, so lovable, and people that I admire. Like Laura, Meech, Sean, Alfred, each one of them, I love them dearly.
Beautiful humans. They're
beautiful humans. And I feel like I'm not worthy to be on the same team as these people.
You can't say that, though. I'm not going to let you sit in Lauren's basement and look me in my face. No,
definitely not.
And lie to these people all through their headphones that you don't feel. Well, okay, better question. What will make you feel that way?
Whoa, well, that would be taking us into another direction.
Uh-oh. Do we not want to go there?
Maybe we're going there, but in a minute.
In a minute.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But so what I do, I mostly do the blog posts.
Okay.
So I try to post weekly, and I'm still like working on figuring out what my niche is. But lately I've been trying to be vulnerable, because I'm trying to help create community in the Halifax Social Network.
Okay.
Because this is a place that we want anyone to come and feel welcome. This is a place that we want people to come and know that they belong.
Right.
And that they can be vulnerable, and that there's not going to be judgment there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I try to do through the blog posts.
Okay.
And I also, I work with Meech a bit. Like Meech and I are more the hosts when at the events.
Okay.
So then we,
Gotcha.
we discuss, and then like, I don't know, we all have this group chat that we talk to each other like pretty much every day, and we're just like kind of bouncing ideas off of each other for, how can we, where do we want to see ourselves going in the next year, and like what are we hoping to accomplish, and where do we want to go, like physically? Do we want to like go around the province? And I don't know, I think we all wear a few hats, but I feel like mine is mostly with writing and talking a bit at the events. Helping with hosting.
Okay. Lauren got something to go.
Well, if we're going to talk about the writing, like, why don't we just get into it? Because that's something that I've noticed recently, is that on the Halifax Social Network, I'm on the Facebook page. I don't do the Instagrams. I don't do the Twitters. I don't do...
Why are there S's on the
other things? Because that's what old people do.
Okay, that does make sense.
So what I've noticed is, Ruth, since you started doing the writing, there's been like a huge uptick in terms of, like you said, vulnerability and like some raw shit.
Yeah.
And before I came onto the podcast, like I have no problem being completely transparent or authentic or whatever in person with people. And even on this podcast, I can be to the most extent.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like the stuff that you put in those blog posts is super, super raw. And when I think about having a social media account and like trying to be vulnerable or authentic or those kinds of things, like you've totally nailed it. But the stuff you're talking about around mental health is like really big, ugly issues.
Yeah. They feel like big, ugly issues. They terrify me.
The first question would be, how do you get the courage to just put that out there? And second would be, why?
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
So the first one, how do I get the courage?
Yeah.
I think part of it is I'm slightly ignorant. Like I think maybe it's that I don't completely realize what it is that I'm doing when I'm being vulnerable like that.
Yeah.
Like but Sean, like I can honestly say this. Sean he's a beautiful person and he's very supportive of me and who I am. So, and so he helps, like his acceptance of me in all of the ways that I'm just like incredibly flawed and hurt. His acceptance makes me courageous.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. And I know it sounds kind of corny, but
not
like
at all.
It's just,
that's the truth.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
And and I do it because I think that it's important that people know that some of these things, which can be very isolating, are things that they're not alone in, that the way that they're feeling is important.
Right.
And I'm also trying to kind of, I hope to highlight the fact that those feelings are important, but they're not necessarily grounded on anything. Like depression is a chemical imbalance. So that, I guess, that's where it comes from. It's not coming from any kind of failing on your part. And it was something that I really, really struggled with. And so like I was diagnosed with postpartum depression after our second child, so 6 years ago. And I was determined not to go on medication. And I said that I would try everything else. And then if that didn't work, then I would go on medication. And I don't know how honest I was being with myself when I said that, because I think honestly I was just scared of going on medication. And that would go back to the fact that my father has some pretty serious mental illnesses. He's schizophrenic and he has bipolar disorder. And so whenever I heard the word medication or mental illness, that was terrifying. Yeah. So I didn't really...
Eesh.
Yeah. So then I started exercising like a lot. That was when I started getting into running. And I kind of got on more of a strict like routine. Like I had to try to anticipate everything, which when you have kids.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm like, how does that compute?
Oh my goodness. It's just like, you try to think like, okay, so I'm gonna try to go to the grocery store today, and I'm going to bring my kids with me. So I'm going to try, like, you try to then just think, okay, well, before you leave the house, like, they're probably going to be hungry. They're probably going to need to be changed. They're probably going to need to blah, 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 blah. And you're trying to anticipate all these things that could possibly happen. Yeah. It's incredibly stressful and impossible. Like, it's impossible. And surprises were not a good thing for me. And there was a point where Sean felt like he was walking on eggshells around me. There was quite a long period of time where Sean felt like he was walking on eggshells around me, because when I got surprised by something, it would just like, it could quite easily send me spiraling.
Right.
What does that look like? What do you mean when you say spiral?
I would all of a sudden just kind of, it felt like everything just fell on me. And so then, like, and then it was just crushing, and I would be paralyzed. Yeah. And I would get really upset, and like not necessarily like yelling upset, although I would go there. But it would be like just I'd get quiet and stoic, and then and sometimes I'd have to leave the room, and sometimes I'd have to go to my room. And it was like, you can't really have that option when you have 3 kids that need you. And when you have a husband that you need to be there to support. Right. So, that's kind of what that looked like. And it was just honestly, it was a pretty dark period in our lives. And, that was when I was thinking like that I had the depression under control. But,
oh, really?
Yeah. That was when I was exercising, I was doing the routine. And then when I got pregnant with our third, I had a lot of trouble gaining weight because I was just so depressed that I didn't want to eat. Yeah. And then of course that would make me really sick, like morning sickness. Right. So, and then I just remember there was one day I was in the kitchen and I don't even, nothing really happened. I was just emptying the dishwasher, and I was standing by the cutlery drawer, and then one of the kids just started crying. And then I was just paralyzed. I couldn't do anything. Like it actually physically took over. And I was thinking like, this is ridiculous. There's nothing really happening here, but I can't. I just can't. And so I called Sean and told him that I couldn't do it. And so he came home. His boss is incredible and was very like, Sean let him know that I was diagnosed with postpartum, and he was very supportive with all of that and what needed to be done. So anyway, so he was fine with Sean coming home, and Sean came home, and then he said, Ruth, you have to go to the hospital. And I knew he was right. And I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified.
Of what? I
was terrified of I was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I like me going to the hospital because I'm having a breakdown. That's because I'm crazy. That's how I saw it. And so, but I did. I went to the hospital and almost went back home before seeing anyone. And I didn't know where to go. And so I spoke with someone in the maternity ward, and they said, "Oh, actually, you're in the wrong building. You have to go over to the infirmary. You need to go to, what was it, Psych Emerge." And I was like, you know what? Nope.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. And the person I was talking to was smart enough to see that I was not going to be doing that. And so she said, you know what? We actually, I think we have somebody here that would be able to see you. So she took me over to a counselor that was there.
Okay.
And I sat and I talked to her. And I cried. And I was like, I'm not crazy. I was like, and the fact that I was sitting there telling her I'm not crazy was like, only crazy people say that they're not crazy. Yeah. So I am crazy.
Yeah.
And
oh shit.
Yeah. And then so they scheduled me in to come back in again, and so I went to a couple sessions, and then still didn't go on medication. And then decided that Sean and I decided that I was gonna go back to school again, because I needed something else that was going on in my life aside from being at home. So I went back to school, and that helped incredibly.
Okay.
It was great.
What were you taking in school?
I was going to be going into public relations.
Okay.
So I was taking some courses to kind of prep me for it, because when you go into public relations, you have to take it full time. And I knew at that point I couldn't. Right. So I just took 2 courses. I took math, algebra, and then the intro to PR.
Okay. It's hilarious how they make you take that,
right?
Here's some shit you're never going to use again, but pay us for it.
Yeah.
It's a prerequisite. Thanks.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, but it was amazing. It was very, very good for me, and it kept me busy, kept my mind on other things. It got me through that. And then I had Owen, and then, of course, things got worse again. I wasn't in school anymore. I was home with the baby and my 2 other babies, the 3 of them. And so then I got a part-time job when Owen was 4 months old. Yeah. And it was I needed to have something else to kind of I had to be so busy that I didn't have time to think. And that was the way that I could cope with it. And then I had it. So then I worked outside the home for 3 years. And then we reached a point where it was just kind of okay, it doesn't really make sense, with the amount of money that we're paying in childcare, for me to be working outside the home, because the added stress in our lives and the whatever very little extra money that we're making, it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So we decided I'd stay home again. And then it just came right back. It was there. And it was there all along. It was just that I was not thinking about it.
So postpartum depression is depression that happens to moms after they have children.
Yeah.
But like where is that? Like, I don't understand. Like, is it because like what is it after having a baby? Like, what is that part of it? Like, that's the part that I'm trying to like understand. You know what I mean? Like
it's the hormones.
Okay.
They mess you all up.
Okay, because I don't know anything about this stuff.
Yeah, and actually, there's such a thing as prenatal depression, which I
really?
didn't. Yes, and I didn't know about that. I had prenatal depression. Like I had that with Jackson. I would lay in bed and cry. Like Sean would go to work. I'd be with Zoe, and then I'd lay Zoe down for her nap, and I would lay in bed and I would cry until Zoe woke up a couple hours later. And it would be like, and I would be dragging myself out of bed to go get her. Like it was, and I was just like, oh man, those pregnancy hormones, crazy. I didn't realize I had postpartum or prenatal depression. And that's a thing I didn't know.
I also didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm getting schooled right now, which I appreciate. Because I don't know what it would be like to have a human grow inside of me.
Yeah, it's funny because I also love being pregnant.
Okay.
So like I'm, crying my face off, but also like, you're all big and when you start to waddle, I find that hilarious.
Pregnancy waddle.
The pregnancy waddle is so funny. And like when you need help getting off a couch.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
See, she's like laughing about this now. I'm like,
Right. Lauren's eyes. Fuck. She's terrified.
Oh man.
Why?
Yeah. Because of all the things that you're saying. So like Ruth is now 30 and like way past the having kids. I'm turning 30 next June and I'm like, are we gonna have kids?
Right.
So there are lots of things that make me fucking scared about that. Now I have to be worried about prenatal depression. Like,
thanks, Bruce.
Maybe that's a thing. But it's like it's those things that part of me feels like they're things that are now maybe spoken about more, but traditionally you don't talk about that shit.
No.
You don't talk about how hard it is to breastfeed. You don't talk about what it's like when your nips are bleeding. You don't talk about what it's like to be birthing this thing through a hole that really seems like it should never go that big, but it does. No one talks about how like, as Kyler's sister put it, how you just, my poor perineum, if you're going to put it nicely, you like tearing things, okay?
Oh.
There's all the stuff.
Perineum?
I don't know what that is.
It's your taint, man.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay. Torn taint sounds terrible.
It is terrible. Let me tell you.
Okay.
See?
Well, then.
Having to sit on a donut, having to do all these things.
Yeah.
And then what if your kid is colicky? And what if it never sleeps or eats? Or why should I be terrified over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you should be. See? But the other thing is that when it
I'm gonna get none of the bounce back like Ruth when she was super young. So like, fuck my life.
Well, that's true.
But okay, well here's the other thing. Depression kind of benefited me in this one way. I was running so much to help to try to get those endorphins going that I lost the weight really fast.
Strategy.
Yeah.
Good strategy.
It's the strategy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So before your pregnancies then and your encounters with prenatal and both postpartum, like did you have depression before that was like diagnosed or undiagnosed, or?
I would say I had undiagnosed depression. Yeah. It makes sense to me now so like a year ago I started medication. I finally started medication. I broke down. I actually was pushed to it by listening to a sermon at our church. Our pastor talked about how he has depression. He was very open about it. And the things that he was saying was like, wait a minute, that's not normal? Like, really? Yeah. So then,
there you go.
Yeah. So then I was like, oh, I think maybe I should go on medication. And then I went on my medication. It kicked in immediately. Like usually it takes about 4 to 6 weeks. Mine was within days.
Wow.
Really? Yeah.
Oh.
And it was amazing. I was euphoric because it was just like, oh my goodness, I'm waking up and I feel okay. Like I wake up and I feel okay.
Yeah.
Like I never knew what that was like before. So it was so amazing.
I feel like we all go through our own bouts of depression and like struggle with these things, but I just don't have lady hormones. So like I'm trying to understand.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. And I it's just like a thing. I don't know, like dudes, we just don't understand women in certain ways. Like there's certain ways we could never understand, like the reaction to hormones and like the things that happen in a lady's body. And then it's like when dudes are asked to explain period cramps and they're just like, oh, like there may be this, or like I know we couldn't handle them for like an hour. And
probably
like,
not.
This is what I'm saying, right? Like it's so I'm trying to wrap my mind around the things that are different for men and women, and like how the body and babies and stuff like. So I just really don't even want to say anything. I don't even know what I really want to say. But it's just interesting, like, listening to it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. It's new to me.
Yeah.
Like, before, like, my mom birthed my sister when I was 13. So, like, I was around, but, like, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like, and I haven't had, like, close family members or friends who've had kids, or, like, so I'm just like, oh, like, this thing called parenting and like babies and stuff. You're just like, how does it work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is scary.
It is scary. But the other thing is, though, that when you're in it, it's a lot less scary. Like, it's scary to think about.
Well, so this is the thing. But this is the thing. I feel like from an evolutionary standpoint, the minute that thing comes out, your wiring changes and you're supposed to be like
ready. Somehow.
Yeah.
I need to take care of this thing, so I'm going to sacrifice everything for this thing that I just created.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean...
But, like, you want to.
Right.
So is it really like a switch where you're just like, boom.
I hear it is
like,
a switch.
And like life changes forever, like in a moment, and it never goes back to how it was before.
Also why it's not terrifying at all. And in that instant, literally everything about your life and your spouse's life and everyone else's life is different.
It is different.
From this minute onward.
Forever.
Yeah.
And the minute before, it wasn't. But this minute it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me I'm not overreacting to this. Like...
you make a point.
You do. You make a very good point. It's true. You like, yeah, that's right. You're right. And it like, but again, like, I don't know, thinking about it is a lot scarier than actually doing it, because you're ready. And I mean,
you don't really have a choice but to be ready at that point, right?
Yeah, you don't have a choice but to be ready. And then, well, sorry, yeah, you're right. You're ready. And then when you have your first kid when you're 23 years old.
I was going to say, but you guys were young, so at 23 years old.
We were too dumb to realize that we had ruined our lives. So we were like, hey, this is fun. You know, like, we got a little baby. She's cute. And then all of a sudden, the baby's staying up all night. And, okay, let's just get this out of the way.
Here we go.
Every new parent is going to be like, oh, my baby's such a good sleeper. That's because the baby is so tired from shooting out of your vagina.
So what you're saying is that wears off.
That wears off. It wears off.
How long does that take?
It takes like 3 days.
Oh no.
Maybe a couple weeks if you're lucky. But for me, I was never lucky. It was only like 3 days. And you know what? There is going to be the occasional person that they're like, oh, I have a perfect baby. Oh, I have to wake them up to eat. And that's just the case. And you don't like those people.
Very isolated, not common.
Motherfucker.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. And so then you go and you talk to all the other normal parents who have the normal kids about how much you don't like those other people, and you hope, and I wish this wasn't true, but it is true.
Okay.
You hope that these people have another kid who is the worst. So that it will, because it has to even everything out.
Yes, life is about balance.
It is about balance. They need to understand that their kid, how hard it is, and that kid that was perfect, that's not normal, and that they don't deserve that kid. It's not something
that I know parents like that.
Yeah.
Whoops.
We need a little 10-second.
No, keep going.
Okay, so
all right.
yeah, I know those parents.
Yes, and there's not something
because
magical.
the mom's name is Linda, and that first kid was me, and that second kid's my sister. Totally, she's like, "Oh, Lauren, you slept all the time, and you ate whenever I needed you to eat, and you didn't really fuss a lot, and then your sister was born."
That's so rude.
And little Miss Hillary just didn't like to sleep, and sometimes she didn't want to eat, and you guys are just night and day. And I'm like, well, maybe that's why she's good at math. And I'm not.
She's good at math. There we go. Yeah, it's payback.
Exactly.
It's balance.
Exactly.
Yeah. And and you know what? It is not to do with the magical little thing like that you did when you were pregnant or when you first had your kid. You know what?
It's so what I'm seeing on your face right now is like those fucking mommy bloggers and those people that fucking told me. You're like, I read it all and I know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's the look I can see on your face right now.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Playing classical music to your kid? No.
Doesn't work.
Does not work.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the myths being dispelled.
Yeah, it's just how that kid happens to be. I mean, like,
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. Each one of my children, like, I'm pretty much the same person, but each one of my babies were different.
Right.
It's not because of a different technique that I had. And you know what? And all of my kids, though, were kind of difficult. Jackson, our middle one, he was the easiest. So he started sleeping through the night, and so some parents are going to kind of hate me when I say this.
Uh-oh.
He started sleeping through the night when he was about 9 months old. 10 months old.
Wow.
And that was good. That was good for me. There are parents that they're like, it took him that long? And then it's kind of like, well, do you want to know how long it took my other kids?
Right.
Like, it took them a lot longer. So how about you just shh. Just be nice and quiet. And it's not anything that I did differently. It's nothing that I did differently. They're
Ruth's
just different.
Energy.
I know, right?
This is great. I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Keep going. No, I had to interrupt you to say that. But
oh my goodness,
sorry. Continue.
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, it was stupid of us to have kids so young. It was, and you know what? It's just because we were lucky. It turned out really well. We got married when we were 19. That was stupid too. Sean and I, we will both tell you.
That's amazing.
That was stupid, and we're just really lucky that it worked out really well. From? I'm from Ontario. I'm from a small town in Ontario. Sean is from here. He's from Timberley.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you guys were like, I don't know.
Like high school
sweethearts. Yeah. No, we didn't even do that. We just like met and we're like, hey, I like you. Let's get married. Okay. You know, like, and Sean's, all of our parents, I'm sure, were terrified. And I, now, like, that I have my own kids, I'm kind of like, oh my goodness, how did you let us do that? But they were being respectful.
Hey, 11 years from now, you could do this.
And people say that to me all the time.
And you're just like, what the?
I'm right. Yeah, Sean's parents, they get a real kick out of it. It's like 11 years. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I did that to you.
No, raising babies in this day and age sounds fucking terrifying.
It's terrifying. But the other thing is that it's awesome.
Yeah, when you have parents like Ruth and Sean, I mean, come on.
Oh.
Like, then you're dealt a pretty good hand, I think. You know, like, you guys are...
That's so nice.
Like, just... amazing people and very community oriented and care. You know, I think more than anything, children need parents that care. Regardless of the other things, yes, you need to have the bare minimum, but even the kids that don't grow up with the bare minimum that have loving parents, I feel like turn out to be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Good humans.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what? I gotta say, even though my kids, like as we all can be, my kids can be jerks every now and then.
Of course.
And, but they're good people. Like, genuinely kind. I'm gonna brag a little bit right here.
Do it, because then we're gonna make it tell the poop story. So
all right, cool.
Love it.
Yeah, so I actually just had parent-teacher interviews.
Awesome.
Yes, and I went in to see Zoe's teacher, and her teacher was like, so Zoe is incredible. She is so smart. She's doing everything exactly as I would hope to see it go. And there is nothing that I can think of that I need her to work on. And I looked at her and I was like, cool, so we're done? It's like, great, all right, we're done.
That's what you want.
Oh my gosh, I'm so proud because...
good for you too.
Thank you. I don't volunteer at the school ever.
So she didn't have to say nice things.
She didn't have to say nice things at all. I barely donate money to the school, but the thing is, they're asking for money all the time.
Of course.
I'm not made of money. I have 3 mouths to feed.
Yes, they're expensive.
It's expensive. And I'm not really on top of Zoe that much for doing her homework either. But I don't know, maybe that kind of worked out for her because then she's like, oh well, if mom doesn't tell me to do my homework, I still have to do my homework.
Right.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it just doesn't get done.
Right.
And so she just kind of figured that out. So she does it. She's on top of it. She's on top of all of that. And I don't have to remind her. She
That's
right?
awesome.
Thank you so much. Being kind of a lazy, uninvolved parent totally pays off.
Worked for my parents.
Has its perks. Well.
I don't even think my parents ever went to a parent teacher. Mom was like, I knew you were fine. I saw your grades. What the hell did I need to go see parent teacher for?
There you go.
I'm not going to go waste my time. Basically.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Meanwhile.
Oh
my goodness.
Yeah,
okay.
and then... Oh, I'm going to brag about Jackson for a second.
Do it.
So Jackson, I went in to see his teacher and she was like, he is doing so great and he's where I want him to see him be. And he's just one of the most kind-hearted kids I have ever met. He just loves everyone. And he deeply loves people. And and you see it all. When he sees so my cousin Jen, she lives here in Nova Scotia. She's my only family member that lives near me. The rest of them are in Ontario. Okay. My kids love her because she's incredible. She's amazing. So of course, why wouldn't they love her?
Not?
And Jackson, when he sees her, wraps everything around her. Aww. He's just so happy to see her. Old? He's 6.
6, 8, and
6, 8, and 4. And Owen, Owen's 4. He's the sweetest little thing. He loves vacuums and he loves to wipe his crap over everything.
So this is the infamous poop story.
I feel like it's not even infamous. It's just the most recent.
The most recent. Oh my goodness. Well, the thing is, I think he's thinking that he is solving a problem. Because he's like, hey, I have poop in my bum. Right. So I need to get it out of there.
Right.
So then I'm going, so he reaches in and he pulls it out and then he's like, oh, now I have it on my hand. So I'm gonna wipe it on the chair, on the white chair. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh my god! And then it's like, oh, it's on the back of my hand, so I'm gonna just wipe it more. And oh my goodness, it's on the chair. So I'm gonna pick up this my shoe, and I'm gonna
wipe the poop off the chair with the shoe.
And it's on my shoe now. So what? I'm gonna wipe it off on the floor.
It's getting incrementally better as we go along. Well, perfect.
And then he's like, well, it's on the floor. This actually happened. It's on the floor. So I'm gonna take off my shirt and I'm gonna wipe it off the floor with my shirt, but he's just smearing it around the floor. And then he leaves it crumpled up. And then he comes upstairs and he's like, oh my goodness, there's still a little bit of poop on my hand. So I'm going to wipe it on the stairs as I'm going up. Oh, no. And then he finally gets to me and he has his hands are just covered. And he has a little bit on his face because, he's got itchy or whatever. And then he looks at me and he's like, I fixed it.
and I love that. I did a good job, right?
Yeah. He's so proud of himself.
Mom, look what I did.
Here's the really funny part. Because at 4
Oh
though,
my God.
10 years from now, he'll remember exactly what you were talking about. Because he's 4.
Because he's 4, yeah.
You can't tell me you don't remember that.
Yeah, that's a...
No way.
No, I think he would...
Yeah, this is
will
too
remember
much.
it. I'll make sure to.
Owen's
and then you made it
classic
here.
poop stories.
And then you made it here.
Yeah.
Bless your heart for making it here this evening.
That
Thank you so
happened
much.
today.
It's... Actually, there's a different poop story that happened today. But we don't have to get into that.
don't need
Oh, it
to-
sounded kind of similar.
Yeah, well.
It was very similar. All
Similar,
over
not quite, yeah.
the carpet in our closet.
That's right.
Yeah. The white, we have carpet in one area of our house.
And that's naturally where the shit is going to end up. I don't know what else you expected, Mom. Putting shit on the carpet, of course, where you can clean it. Duh.
Yeah. And then he does it, and then he's like, yeah, but I wanted to use the furniture cleaner. So this is his way. He wants to use a furniture cleaner.
Oh, so
you need to make a mess in order to clean it up with furniture cleaner.
Naturally.
He loves it. He loves.
I mean, the logic's
furniture
not
cleaner.
wrong.
No, it's not.
You got
it's
a
not
smart
wrong.
kid.
He is very smart, and he will kill me. There's actually a period of time where I was a little concerned that he was a psychopath.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so can we talk about that briefly for 1 second?
Go.
Not even just okay, the psychopath thing. Yeah, I get it. Or no, I don't get it. We're going to get it. But
Sure, whatever. Yeah.
is it just moms that inherently think there's something wrong with their kid when there's fucking nothing wrong?
Yes.
Yeah, Kelsey, I'm looking at you.
Uh-oh.
Talk about that. There's like a paranoia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is a paranoia.
There's a paranoia.
Yeah, there's a paranoia. Yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, there is. Yeah. And I never really had it with any of my kids except for Owen. Because he didn't really show emotion up until...
Would be scary.
It was a little scary. And so then there was this one night, I remember when the thought came into my head. He woke up, he was crying. I went into his room. I was laying in his bed next to him. And he was just smacking me in the face. But there was no emotion behind it. He was just smacking me in the face. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh no. What if my kid is a psychopath? And then it was like, what if he realizes that he does not have any emotional attachment to me, and so then he just one day decides to kill me to test it out.
Oh my God.
And that concern stayed with me for longer than it should have. I talked to Sean a little bit about it. We laughed.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we laughed. It was funny, but it was funny because I wanted it to be funny. But
Right.
I was like,
Oh, but hey, I wonder if there are parents that have had that conversation.
yeah, right. That's totally. Yeah.
And then
You're all
Wake up
stressed
never.
Yeah. Yeah, and then a couple months after that happened, I had my 30th birthday. And
Congrats.
Owen, thank you. I'm 32 now.
Oh.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Congrats.
Thank you. And he ran into my room and gave me a kiss on the lips. And that was the first time he just kissed me.
Oh.
And it was on my birthday. It was on my 30th birthday. And then it was the gift was, he's not a psychopath.
Yes. He does
Greatest
have
gift.
He does have
emotions.
emotions.
Greatest gift.
Yeah, and now he's attached to me. I'm his everything, which is so wonderful and exhausting.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
What is it? Broadest, most general question ever. What is it like being a parent?
Oh, what is it like being a parent? Okay. Let me think about this for a minute.
The can of worms is about to be opened.
It's gonna get crazy in here. It's like drowning.
Good start.
And trying to hold up 3 kids.
Well, you scared still?
Okay, so but
No,
that
but
is
it's
like almost not, because that's what I expected to hear.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, you realize that you are, like, you're solely responsible for these kids.
Right.
But then, like, then you have these conversations with them and you're like, you're like one of the most awesome people that I know. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Like, because, like, I don't think you got that from me. Like, some of the ways that, like, my kids, like they comfort me. Like, we're pretty honest about how we're feeling with our kids. And, like, when my grandma died a couple of years ago, she was like a second mother to me. Like, I was very, very close with my grandmother. So, when she died, I was very sad for quite a long time. And my daughter was the only one that was really old enough to quite understand what was going on. And I just remember there was one morning she was heading into school. This was shortly after my grandma died. And I yelled at her over something that was, like, really small. And I stopped myself and I was just like, oh, Zoe, like, I'm so sorry. And then she stopped me and she said, no, I get it. You're just feeling really emotional because your grandma died.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. And she was 6. And it was like she just understood.
Jeez.
She was like, no, I get it. It was like she didn't take it personally.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's understood. And that's
impressive.
Yeah. Like, they're awesome. Like, my kids, and I know, like, I'm pretty sure most parents say this. I hope all parents say this.
Right.
Like, my kids are just the most awesome people I know. They're incredible. Like, they're awesome. And, like, I make a lot of jokes about how like, parenting is like drowning, but, like, it is.
Like, what do you mean by that? By drowning?
Yeah, I feel like it's like you're drowning in responsibility, because it's like, because you are responsible for them. You're responsible for their well-being and making sure that they're fed, and, like, you can't take those emotional breaks that you feel like you need a lot of the time.
Okay.
And there is so much more work that you have to do, even just when it comes to housework, which is never ending. And it's already never ending, but, like, I don't know, you just feel like, you know, if you don't do your kids' laundry, then they don't have socks to wear to school. Like,
right. Yeah.
And it's just
one thing to wear your own damn dirty socks more than one time, but
to force somebody who has no control over the cleanliness of their socks to wear dirty socks.
You feel like a bit of a failure. But then it's like, then on the other side, you're kind of like, I'm not a failure. I'm just I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying.
Right. How do you remain mindful of that balance?
Sean and I help each other with that. But I find that a lot of the time, especially recently since I've started medication for depression, that voice happens a lot quicker. It's kind of on the ready. So then I'm just kind of like, I'll start to think like, oh no, I'm a failure. And then it's like, no, that's just how life goes sometimes. So
that's good.
Yeah. Yes, it's really good. Because I would spend way too much time chasing that thought before. And
interesting.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Could you do it alone?
Could I do parenting alone?
I have a follow-up question. That's why I'm asking this question.
Okay. I know that I could.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to. It would be incredibly difficult.
Right.
But I know that because you have to.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does Sean bring to this piece of this giant pie of life to help keep it together?
Oh, Sean. Oh man, what does he bring? He brings... Okay. So I'll just give you an example.
Okay.
Today, I was... so I had a doctor's appointment. I had to take my kids to the doctors.
Okay.
And also be checked up on my medication because I recently had to have it adjusted.
Okay.
And then after I brought my oldest home, just because there's no point in taking her back to school. And then it was time to take it was time to go pick Jackson up from the bus stop. And so I just have to like put Zoe and Owen in the car and just drive down the road a little bit to get them. And as I'm trying to get out the door, this is when Owen does the whole stuff with the carpet in the closet. Oh my
God, no.
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah. And he's pooped himself, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying, and he doesn't want to go anywhere. So I'm trying to like get him to go into the car to get Jackson. And he's like, I'm not doing it. He's running away from me with poop and all. And then Zoe is like, she's coming down the stairs, and Zoe is so helpful and sweet. And she was just like, oh, there's one thing that I need to like grab upstairs before we go. And she was also trying to go upstairs and to help convince Owen to come and to cooperate. And while she's running up the stairs, she trips, she falls, she hurts herself really bad. She's wailing, she's screaming. It's like, I'm already 5 minutes late to get to the bus. And so then...
Oh my God.
Yes. And so then I texted Sean, and because I was losing my mind.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't get Jackson from the bus. I am losing my mind. I swore a whole bunch. And then Sean was like, yep, I'll get him. And he just went and got him.
Done.
Like, he just did it. And his office is like 3 minutes from our house. So he was able to just get there. And so he just did that. And then I'll have days where like I am too busy cleaning poop up, or I'm trying to do some projects of my own.
Okay.
To help me keep my sanity. And so then the house gets destroyed.
Right.
It happens so quickly. And like there's laundry piled up. Like we have a shelf above our washer and dryer, and there's a window behind that shelf. Uh-oh. But you can't see the window. Yep. Because laundry.
Yep.
And then it's also piled on our bed. And it's just like, it's out of control.
Right.
And so then, and the whole house is just like, there's crackers everywhere.
Crackers. Naturally.
Yeah. And clementine smeared into the carpet.
And poop.
And poop everywhere. I found it in the strangest places. It's like you pick up a marble and it's covered in poop. How does that happen?
That to me sounds like a post-retrieval. That sounds like an entire experiment.
You're probably right.
No.
Retrieved it. Had to find the lucky striker. How many days?
Oh, God. Oh, keep going, please, Ruth.
Oh, yeah. So it's just everything is falling apart.
Lucky striker.
I feel like I also borrowed that from Little Rascals, so I don't know.
That's great.
Let's go watch it.
You're brilliant. It's great. Keep doing it. Keep going.
And so then, by this point, like I'm looking around the house, and I get overwhelmed when the house is like that.
Right.
And Sean knows this about me. He knows me well enough that he just knows what kind of needs to be done without me having to say anything, without me having to have a meltdown or anything.
Right.
And so then he'll come home. I haven't started supper, which is kind of like, it feels a little unfair because I am home. Like, so I should be able to like make supper. Right. So that when he comes home after working all day, which I'm working all day too. Right. But, I should have that ready for him. Like I feel, and I don't know if that's partly a traditional thing that like maybe I need to break out of as well. It's certainly not something that Sean makes me feel. But anyway, he'll come home and he'll give the kids and I a kiss, and he'll throw something in the oven. Like start some kind of supper and clean the house, and then there, it's done. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah. And like he I don't know, he understands me in a way that not like people don't really understand me the same way that he understands me. So he offers emotional and mental support like big time. Right. And which is like I really need, because like when I need to have my medication adjusted, like I'll be having suicidal thoughts, and he'll be there, and he's just, I don't know, he just somehow he says the right thing. And then he's the primary breadwinner, so I don't have to worry about our finances. Right. He's the one that does that. And he works so hard. Like because he has his job at Viewpoint, and then he does photography and videography, and then he's a part of the Halifax Social Network, right? And he does like other like little side things, like we do some projects like voiceovers for different things, and
I heard you you did that.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I would be able to parent alone if I had to.
Right.
I would never want to. And he makes it so that it's something that I can enjoy. I don't think I would enjoy it really as much.
Interesting.
He makes it so I can enjoy it. Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I can tell. I can see your love for Sean glowing out of your face right now. Because when I asked you that question, you should have seen you.
Totally. Yeah. No, it's awesome. I think that's wonderful to see.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's because it's
not super common.
Well, you said it. You said it. Do you find it like, what does it feel like being in a like such a long relationship amongst people who likely are like either haven't been in such you've been together for how long? Like 11 years, 12 years?
12 years.
12 years?
Yeah.
Like how many other 30-year-olds are saying these types of things, right? And like it almost feels like you did a lot of the stuff that people wait for early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, is that like what's that like?
It feels awesome now.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that we're on the other,
okay,
we're kind of getting a little bit more to the other side of it.
Totally.
Oh, feels awesome. It feels so good.
What feels good about it?
Now we don't have babies.
They're free.
We're free. Like
they're like real people now.
Yes.
With agency and thoughts and
right.
some self-responsibility.
Yes.
Right. And
I'm only 32 and I can start into my own projects now. And when those things start kind of hopefully turning into something,
they will.
Thank you.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Of course it will.
Thank guys.
Well, you have to believe.
You know what? You're right. You do.
Baby,
you got
come on now.
Yeah,
you
totally.
You know that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yes. And they will. So when they do. I'm not going to have to take that pause when I have kids because they're going to be just getting older. So, right. And the other thing is though, like there are benefits to it both ways. So it's like, it's just when you can enjoy what part. And now I get to enjoy this part now.
That does make sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, thanks.
Lauren, do you have anything you want to add? I know you're old because you're.
Well, no, but that's like it's something that I think about a lot because we're just at that age, right? By the way, is Sean free next August 24th?
I know.
Because if I don't plan this wedding, it's never gonna happen. So
I'll check with him.
Okay, great.
I'm sure that he'll clear his schedule.
We already have a videographer. He I'm pretty sure knows. He should know. Yes, exactly. So Terrence and Sean could maybe have fun together. That would be fun.
Oh, he would have so much fun.
Yeah, he would.
He would have.
Sean.
He would have so much fun.
Sean.
I was trying to whisper it. That didn't work.
I want to work with you. You, me, Lauren's wedding.
Yes, exactly.
August 23rd?
4th.
August 24th. 2019. Sean McMullen, Terrence Taylor, cameras in hand.
I love it.
It sounds like a movie trailer.
Yeah, it totally does.
I know I need to get this voiceover work like you, eh?
Yeah, you do.
That'd be so fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I get to do with Sean.
That would
be even more fun. I would also just like take like 2 seconds to give a huge shout out both to Ruth and Sean for being a great dad, but also to Mrs. Megan Thompson, Matt Thompson, my business partner's wife, because she just had their third. Yeah. Oh. Dorothy's now 3 months old, and I know, you're giving huge props to Sean, and Sean, we all love you, but like the shit that you two do for your husbands so they can go do that stuff is so huge. And I know Megan is the backbone behind Thompson when he's out running the roads being #1 sales guy. It's not without you amazing women. So, and Thompson, I love you, but Megan, you're a fucking rock star too.
Megan, way to be awesome.
Yep. Seriously.
Yes. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. And so no, like I get excited about it, but see, I think it's interesting that I would be potentially starting this parenting journey kind of like
Later.
While I'm getting, like later.
Right.
Biologically later.
Right.
Timeline culturally.
Right on schedule.
Right on.
Yeah.
About where things are happening at this point on average. But frig, man. Like, shit's bumping at Common Good Solutions. P4G's about to take off. Like, and I'm supposed to have a kid in the middle of this? And do what? Sit at home my ass? Probably not sleeping, not doing whatever. Like, that's the part that I really, above and beyond all the physical horrors that will likely result, I'm mostly just paranoid about having to be out of the game for a little bit. Where I'm like, in my mind, I've already constructed how I'm going to make this work.
Right.
Now I'm super thankful that there's a daycare below our building.
Yes.
Or on the first floor of our building. Our boss loves kids and has basically resigned himself to being pseudo granddad when all of us under 30 somethings have kids. Yeah. And the fact that my partner totally would be in and would probably take his own leave and I'd take some, and that we have flexible arrangement. I feel like of the scenarios we could have, it would be pretty much the best. Particularly because his parents are close, my mom is close, like we have a close-knit family, so there's those supports. But it's like my personal stuff that I'm most worried about having to pause. Yeah. That freaks me out. Because time doesn't wait for people. That's the thing. Like, time doesn't wait. Right. Oh, I'm going to go take my mat leave now. If you could just like not make any really big decisions, or, you know, call me in when you're doing all this fun stuff. Like, that's the stuff that bugs me. Now, do I even think I could take a year off? No.
You be home working.
I've already in my mind, I'm like 6 months max. And I'd probably still be going to check email. Now, do I think it's realistic? I don't know, because I don't know how my body will be, how the kid would be, how anything would be. So yeah, I think about this stuff a lot, because I'm not trying to be on a timeline. It just is, you know, like it just is a reality. But I do feel like it comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Especially because people are asking.
Right. Where is it?
When's it happening? When are you getting married? Are you guys gonna have kids? How many? When? I don't know.
Business.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
You don't feel pressured from the outside to make that move, do you?
No, well, not really, because usually I just say fuck that.
Right.
Like I don't really care about that. My own personal, like for my own personal self. Right. I don't want to be 35 having my first kid. If we decide to have kids, or whatever. And that's if you'd like to wait, then that's great. But I just am starting to feel this sense of, and maybe it's because my 30th birthday is coming up next year, and I'm just like, biology. Like I know it's fine or should be fine, but you know, it's just it's kind of some of those things. And I guess I'm witnessing Kyler's nephew who just turned 2. And Rory's the 100th percentile in terms of height, right? At 2, he's wearing most of the time 3 and 4 year olds clothing.
He's a big person.
And Kelsey's due again in January, so I'm going to get to see. So I'm seeing the terrible 2 start to evolve, and then she's about to have another one. So I'm like witnessing these things happening. So I'm like,
scary, eh?
Well, and then I think about sleep.
Yeah.
In all this, like, sleep is the thing that will bring me back from illness, from being depressed, from just reset button. And I worry that when I don't, because it's inevitable, when I don't get enough sleep, what kind of person I'm going to turn into.
Yeah. Right, yeah. You know, I think for women, there must be some kind of hormone or something that kicks in, though, right after you have a kid that makes it so you don't need as much sleep.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, because that was going to be one of my next questions, like the things you thought before you had a baby, and then like you have it, and you're like, oh, this is not what I thought would happen, or like this, I didn't expect any of these things to like now be life now. Like what? Like, are there any of those specific things?
Well, it depends on how detailed you want me to get.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay. I ripped for the first 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And so my thought was,
just so all the men out there know, and for the women or others that might not know, when she says rip, yeah, it's exactly what you think she means.
my hoo-ha.
Rips. Moving on.
All right. And when they're stitching you up, you can kind of feel it. I didn't realize that would be the case. So you're already, yeah. So, but then you make it through it. And then you're at home and you're given this bottle, this squeezy bottle that you're supposed to fill with water, so that every time you go pee, you have to spray yourself down there to clean it.
Because you can't touch it.
You can't. No, you don't want to.
Right. Okay. All right.
And so I didn't. So that was new. I was not expecting that. Ooh. The first time you stand up after having your baby, it feels like all of your insides are gonna fall out. So yeah.
I've literally never heard anyone say this. Continue.
Yeah. You so I every time I remember you stand up out of bed and all of a sudden you're like, oh no.
Because you're used to there being this huge thing there and now it's going.
It's like, oh my goodness, my spleen just dropped out.
Well, everything would just reshift. Your organs that have been compressed now have space to
they're just.
Oh my god.
They're just.
Oh.
Your organs literally shifting back around. I bet
they're actually they are actually shifting back around and getting back into place.
Oh man. See,
yeah. So they're. It's so weird, and I had to hold my stomach up in place when I was walking around for the first little while. Yeah.
Whoa. Oh my god.
Yeah. So the first time you go to the bathroom, everybody's around you. Yeah. They're all looking at everything while you're doing anything. Yeah. And you don't care. Nope. You're not oh, my privacy. You don't care. When I was having Zoe, I remember thinking while I was pushing, there could be a parade going through here, and I would not care.
Not at all.
Anybody want to come in? Sure. Whatever. Just
leave a tip at the door. Yeah. We need new diapers.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
Didn't care. And maybe that might be something that's more specific to me. That might be a little different because we were also the people that right after we had each kid, we had a whole bunch of people in the room. So I'm naked under a sheet, right, being stitched up, being and there are people in there, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, hi, how are you?" And I'm just I'm a little sore right now, but
as you can imagine,
I'm a bit sore, but yeah, after Owen, I didn't rip, and I felt fantastic. Oh, I felt like $1 million. It was and I made sure to tell everybody, and I still feel so great about it that I will say it on a podcast.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like my brain has been expanded into what pregnancy and lady life is like.
Yeah.
A little
you're
bit.
Getting there.
Well.
Ish. I'm sure.
Man. But there's just stuff, and I bring up the difference in gender a lot.
I think because it just mind boggles you a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you're trying when you engage in these things, I can tell you're genuinely interested. And if only you could put your brain in someone else's body for a minute so you actually knew what it was like. Right. That's what I see when you ask these questions. You're I so fucking badly want to know, actually.
Yeah.
You do. You seem very genuinely interested.
Yes.
Oh, no. He so wants to know.
How does it work?
Yeah. This is awesome.
I'm interested. Well, because, especially lady hormones in general, we don't fucking know.
Because it's like Russian roulette.
What?
I love the way Russian that you describe these things.
Because it is. I feel
beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel depending on, so if a man dates a woman, depending on who you're dating, you don't know what you're going to get when Lady Flo rolls into town. You don't know.
Right.
She may or may not be on birth control. She may or may not have terrible mood swings. She may or may not cry and eat chocolate or throw up.
Right.
Right.
You know? You don't know.
You don't.
Sometimes she doesn't know.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, when it surprises you, that's the worst.
And it depends. Yeah. So, I feel like there's just everybody's different. So you can't be, I've done this before.
You've not done this.
No,
before.
Exactly. Yeah. You haven't done this before. So it should,
I just think it's a man thing. That's like men generally are either like women are crazy or like why are they all emotional and this and this and that. But like usually it's
stuff we have to put up with.
Yeah, seriously.
Right. But it's usually like I usually think that like crazy women are from like just like horrible dudes who do dumb shit. And then they're like,
and I think you'd be right.
Yeah, I'd say that would be quite accurate.
So then you're like, okay, so if it's not, sorry, gentlemen, like I'm not trying to throw us under the bus here or nothing, but if it's okay, if we're being assholes and it's not so much women being emotional and like crazy, then it's like, all right. So if it is women being emotional, then like, what the fuck are those emotions like, so that I can better prepare myself for these emotions that are inevitable. Yeah. So that's why I'm curious, because it's like, how do you deal with this stuff? Because if it's coming, it's coming. And I guess it's stuff that like, if you would ask Sean beforehand, like, how do you deal with a pregnant lady and then a new baby? He'd be like, I don't fucking know. And then this life happens and you're like, oh, okay, so like we don't really have a choice but to figure the shit out, and so you figure it out. So I guess it's one of those things where it's like we'll know when we're there, and all we can do until then is just speculate and ask questions.
True. Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah, I just like to know. I just like to try to communicate to people that this is just that whatever you're feeling and whatever you're going through, like that's normal. Like, so that you shouldn't feel like you're a horrible person for like having certain feelings, because that's just normal. Right. So I like to try to be more honest about some of the darker thoughts that I have, just so that like other people can be like, oh yes, I had that same dark thought, and like it's normal, so don't worry about it. Yeah. So talk to somebody about it.
What has the response been? Because I know what I've seen on Facebook, and like the response to your incredibly vulnerable posts on Halifax Social Network have received nothing but the utmost like likes and loves and comments. And how's that felt? And have you gotten anything else that's like a private message?
I've gotten some private messages. They've all been positive as well. And oh man, it feels incredible. It just like, it makes me just, it helps me see again how great of a city we live in and how awesome of a network we're in. Like, these people are being accepting of me and some pretty vulnerable stuff and some things that like I'm not necessarily proud of, but and it's just like, it makes me feel lighter.
That's awesome. So you didn't get any negative comments at all?
No, I've gotten negative comments about that kind of stuff, but never from the Halifax Social Network. Never from those people. They're awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It must feel good being a part of something like this Halifax Social Network, just in terms of what it's doing for the city and for the community. And you, Lauren, you made a comment earlier that like you and Sean just seem like very nice, just like caring, loving community people. So then it makes sense how it all ties together. But I think it's cool in just watching how just kind people who are like, hey, here's me. What about you?
Yeah.
Like, what about this other person who, like you said, you share some of these thoughts that are normal, but because we often don't talk about this stuff out loud, it's like, oh, like I can't say that, or that's taboo, or I wonder what someone will say if I said I felt shitty or I wanted to kill myself. It's like, and you're like, bruh, I thought about that yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
But it's okay to think this way, and I want to commend you and like what this Halifax Social Network is doing, because that's what I see is like just like honest shit, the vulnerability, like, hello, this is what we do here. So I dig it, and I think that's why it's like important for us to have your whole team on the show, because it all ties in. What you're doing, trying to build a community of people to be honest and open and share their experiences. That's what we've done for an hour and a half here.
Hour and a half. Look at us.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Go. It's crazy. Time flies.
Right, but and that's what it is. It's like, oh, we're spending time with each other, sharing stories, being honest, being vulnerable, being ourselves, and it's like, oh yeah, you're a person too, and you're a person, and you go through shit, and your kid likes to play with shit, and we're all humans, and we're all in this shit together.
Yes,
it's cool.
Ah. Oh. Thank you. Yes, it is so cool. And you gotta have like, and it's the people, like they just make it awesome.
Yeah.
Like these people, you guys, you make it awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You make it awesome too.
Oh, you.
We all make it awesome together.
This is great. Teamwork makes the dream work.
You said it.
Absolutely.
You said it.
Yeah.
This was a good time.
This was a really good time.
It's a really good chat. Lauren, do you have any more things you want to?
I have one more question for all three of us.
Go.
Because I guess it sort of just struck me when we're sitting here and we're trying to be catalysts in change. And, you know, Ruth, you putting stuff out there about mental health, and us putting stuff out there about like race and gender, and we're always trying to get into these conversations that are not necessarily safe. And I think that, you know, when everyone's like, oh, we need a safe space. Yes, but I think we need brave spaces, and that's what we talk about at Common Good Solutions. It's not enough to be a safe space to protect people from whatever they don't want to feel.
Right.
We need to embrace these things,
right,
process those feelings, whether they be positive or negative, and then find a way to move on together. And that's kind of where we think about a brave space. So when you think about the conversations that we're trying to generate, and I'm thinking about this a lot lately, is sort of like thinking about the future, and if we're doing this work now, what does that look like 20 years from now? So what does the mental health conversation look like 20 years from now? What does the race conversation look like 20 years from now?
Right.
I'm curious. What do you hope for your kids in 20 years? Because you have kids, like this is really going to matter. They're going to be like our age.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Oh. Oh, what were you recording back then? What's a podcast?
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's like a Discman.
Wow. Discman. Yeah, we won't even have things.
The anti-skip technology?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best.
Yeah.
When it works 60% of the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Marshall Mathers LP and Nellyville.
Oh, yes.
I remember having those.
Nellyville.
On CD. Yeah.
Amazing.
On CD.
CD.
Holy shit. Okay, back to your question, Mom.
Yes.
Please.
But 20 years from now, where do you hope some of these conversations are? What does the world look like?
I think that I hope that the world looks like a place where you can just be very honest about your emotions, and it's like a place where like emotions are just a very real part of our lives. Yeah. And I find that like one thing that I've tried to do a lot in the past is ignore them, because it's like, you know, if you ignore them, then you don't give them power, and then you can make logical decisions. Right. Supposedly.
Right.
Obviously that doesn't work.
Nope.
So I'm hoping that we can, like, that's a very obvious truth. And where just the idea that you can have like a mental illness, and it's, you know, a lot of the time, like, especially like in like religious circles, it can be kind of seen as a lack of faith. So it's like, well, God can heal you. So why do you have this issue? Why are you surrendering yourself to medication? Like, why are you failing that way? And I don't want it to ever be looked on as failure. And I say that like in some religious circles. That's definitely not all. That's not the case in my church. Like it's, you know, but that can just be kind of seen more as like as a more physical thing. Yeah.
Love it.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Where do I see these types of conversations 20 years from now?
Yeah.
I think that we should be able to...
Are we even here?
No, we're not here.
What's changing the narrative? Exactly.
We're not even here anymore. We're in an alternative simulation outside the one that we're currently living in now.
conspiracy.
I just blew Ruth's brain out of her ears. But
out of my ears. That's
anyway, that's another topic for another day.
Yes.
I feel like people should be. I feel like 20 years from now, if we do what we're supposed to do, people should be excited to change their minds.
Oh, I love that. I want to take that for my answer too.
Okay, you can borrow it.
Thank you.
No problem. I think people should be okay with, like, if we're creating this brave and safe space to be like, here's how I think, and you can think how you want to think, and that's okay, and we don't have to agree, but you can learn something else, and I can learn something, and I can see this from a perspective that I would have never ever thought. That's why it always annoys me when like politician people and like politics people are like left and right. It's like, bruh, like if you actually talk about what it is like, that was like at the root of this, I bet you would probably agree on more things than you think you would.
You want to know when they'd agree? When they didn't have to worry about getting fucking reelected. That's what's broken with our democratic system, is that people have to worry about getting reelected. So they take a year getting ramped up to understand what the hell's going on around here. They work for a year and a half. And then they just piss off before the election because they got to worry about getting reelected.
Right.
That's my opinion.
That's another story.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
For another day. I want to hear more about that because you just
that was amazing.
You just sparked up quick.
Yeah, you totally did.
Like that was good.
It's only the shit that we have to deal with at work, so you know.
Yeah, we won't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that would be cool when people are willing to say, okay, you're different than me. I don't have to like you. I don't have to want to hang out with you, but I will respect your opinion and I will listen to your opinion. And I think it would be great if people were more willing to agree to disagree. 20 years from now, it would be great if people could just, you know what? I agree with you, but I disagree. And that's okay. Hey, want to go have coffee? Yeah, cool, great. And like people who just would never hang out with each other, think the same ways, could find places to be together instead of always separating each other based on difference.
Love it.
Yeah.
Might be cool. What about you, Lo?
Love it. Well, I think at the end of the day, for me, it comes down to equity. Like, I hope that 20 years from now, when we're talking about race, when we're talking about gender, when we're talking about people with mental health issues or people with a criminal record, or maybe you won't even have one. But anyways, that's a whole other thing. Yeah. But all of these conversations to me coalesce around equity. And when people are feeling polarized and there's such heated debate around certain pieces, whether it be socioeconomic or racial or any of those things, right, it comes down to feeling like, well, or having been denied opportunity because of. So I hope 20 years from now, we don't have to be having a lot of these conversations, that we're celebrating the differences between sex, gender, race, religion, all of those things. Right. Because we can share values instead of getting all whipped up over what we believe and what we don't believe. Right. I don't think there's anyone on this planet that would disagree that, unless they're a psychopath, right, that they want their family and friends and community to prosper. Right. You'd be hard pressed to find anybody to tell you that that's a terrible thing. Right. And so I hope at the end of the day, 20 years from now, we're not having to worry so much about that, that people have access and that they're included.
It's like Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
Break it down.
The speeches that Captain Picard makes about equity. Yeah. I love him.
Taking you back, eh?
Oh my goodness. I still watch it. Oh, I love The Next Generation.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Oh, that's the original series, but it's still all good.
Whoops. Cool. I'm not up on my Star Trek.
That's folks. Fine. That's fine.
My bad.
Captain Picard. I love
Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc.
Yeah. Is there like a Picard quote we can close the show with? That would be the best. Yes, perfect. I do it. Here we go.
Engage.
And there you have it, folks.
That's that. Ruth, where do they find you on social media and all those cool things?
Okay, well, on Instagram, you can find me at Ruth Hailstone.
Yes.
Hailstone. like the storm.
HAILSTONE.
That is right.
There you go.
And Twitter, that would just be disappointing experience, so don't do that. And Facebook, Ruth Hailstone McMullen.
Nice. And Halifax Social Network?
Halifax Social Network. I'm Ruth.
You guys are where? Facebook, Instagram?
We're Facebook and Instagram. I think we have Twitter, but I just don't spend enough time on it, so
there you go.
I don't know. But
Facebook.
Instagram, Facebook.
Boom.
Definitely.
Oh.
At Placemaking4G and at Common Good for All.
Yeah, baby.
Love
yeah,
it.
baby.
Love it.
Terrence J. Taylor on Instagram. I'm not even going to shout out my TTM because I don't even use it.
Okay.
It's one of those platforms. You know when they say you shouldn't have it if you're not going to use it? I probably shouldn't have it, but I feel like I need it. But I don't really use it.
Okay.
But it's watch TTM on Instagram. Just because I feel like I'd be stupid not to say that. TTM Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Changing the Narrative Podcast. We're also on, I said Facebook, right? Did I say Facebook?
Just did.
I just said Facebook. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. You can watch the episode on Facebook. You can watch it on YouTube. You can stream. Listen to see what... Bleh. I don't know what that was. You can listen to us through your headphones. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah. Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe, download, all that shit.
Make it so.
Do it.
That's Captain Picard again, just so you know.
Oh, I was going to say engage, but
And engage. Make it so.
Make it so.
Make it so.
Make it so. ChangingNarrative.ca.
I love it.
I think that's it.
You guys are
Grab
awesome.
your stickers. You're awesome.
We have stickers. No, you're awesome. I wanted to say we got stickers because everyone else has said it, but I want to double back to Ruth is awesome.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so refreshing and wonderful. Like Good. I loved it. This is awesome. Yeah.
Engage.